Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, contestants,
Welcome.
officials, and honored guests. This is the 2021 District 117 Table Topics Contest. My name is Tom Snee, and I'm serving as your Sergeant at Arms today. I'm now calling this online contest to order. Toastmasters International's lawyers has asked that we make everyone aware of their policy for online contests. By attending this remote district speech contest, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages, may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising. Sorry about that. Arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Phew. These proceedings are designed to ensure we run a fair contest and each contestant is given a level playing field on which to compete. The following announcements are made in the interest of having a distraction-free environment for our contestants. Please respect these rules during the contest. All attendees must keep their webcams turned off and microphones muted at all times unless instructed by the contest master. Once the contest has begun, members of the audience are asked to refrain from leaving and or re-entering the main virtual room. If you must leave, please do so during times of silence between contestant speeches. No one will be permitted to enter the main virtual room during a contestant speech. Let's have a fantastic contest. It's my pleasure to introduce tonight's contest master, Ryan Samya. Ryan is a proud member of Greenville Toastmasters Club. He started his Toastmasters journey in Pensacola, Florida in 2011 before moving to North Carolina. Over the years, Ryan has served in all the club officer roles as well as area and division director. He has also had firsthand experience as a contestant in Toastmasters speech contests in previous years. He looks forward to completing his DTM by the end of this year. Outside of Toastmasters, Ryan is an executive coach and internal consultant focused on talent, leadership and organization development, culture, and positive change. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome our contest master, Ryan Samya.
Wherever you are right now, hello and good evening, Toastmasters, friends, family, and guests. Welcome to the first ever District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest. Now, think about that. The first ever District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest. This is a first. Do you remember your first Toastmasters meeting that you've attended? Perhaps your first marriage, or even your first divorce, your first car, your first job. How about your first lockdown experience? Or the first time that you have to wear a mask, or even your first virtual Toastmasters meeting. Because I can vividly remember back in March of last year how that felt. Or perhaps the first time that you forgot to mute, or you forgot to turn off your camera. And now, I want for you to add one more thing to that list. So if you have a pen and paper, just write it down. I want for you to remember Ryan Samya as the first ever District 117 contest master for Table Topics contest. Kidding aside, There are three things that I often think about when it comes to first-time experiences. One, it's about grace, that you and I can give each other grace this evening. When you experience something that is really something new, give yourself the permission to experiment, but also understanding that here at Toastmasters, we strive for excellence. Second is that for any first-time experience, there's some learning and value that you get out of as well. So what are you looking forward to learning when you try something new? And the last one, be present and be in the moment. We're all in this virtual world this evening, perhaps distracted. You're having dinner, your dog, maybe your TV is on as well, but let's be in this moment and in this space together. And these three things, grace, learning, and being in the moment, for the contestants out there, I trust and hope that you will keep this in mind, especially being in this moment, that you are the first set of contestants for District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest. We may all be behind the scenes of the camera staring, or I mean looking at you, but we're also here cheering for you. With that, let's get started. The Table Topics Contest will consist of a series of timed 1 to 2 minute responses to the same topic that will be judged by a panel of judges. There is a 30-second grace period at the end of the time, outside of which the contestant will be disqualified. The timer will have the green background come on at 1 minute, the yellow background at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the red background at 2 minutes. If the contestant is still speaking after 2 minutes, the red background is to stay on until the contestant stops speaking. The rules have been reviewed with the chief judge and the contestants. The contestants have been informed of the location of the timing lights. The contestants and the judges have certified their eligibility. The contest chair and the chief judge have also confirmed the eligibility of both the contestants and the judges. The virtual speaking area will be the visual space seen by each contestant camera. Mr. Contest Chair, have all the contestants been briefed? Are all the contestants present? And are we ready to proceed with the contest?
Mr. Contest Master, all the contestants have been briefed. They are present and we are ready to proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Chief Judge, have all the contest officials been briefed and are we ready to proceed with the contest?
All the officials have been briefed and we are ready to proceed with the contest.
Thank you. In order to allow the judges time to mark their judging forms, we will have 1 minute of silence after each contestant's speech, and we will have silence after the last contestant's speech until all the ballots have been collected. Timekeepers, will one of you signal me when 1 minute has elapsed between the contestant speeches?
Yes, Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you. The speaking order for the contest was determined earlier by having our contestants draw for position. The order for the contest will be: number 1, Chamra Fernando. Number 2, Glenn Scales. Number 3, Anu Tree Broad. Number 4, Sherry Patillo. Number 5, Patty Dabrowski. Number 6, Alex May. Contestants will be virtually escorted to a special Zoom breakout with the Sergeant at Arms. They will be brought back in one at a time. Each contestant will be introduced only by his or her name and the table topic. I will then repeat the table topic and the contestant's name. All the contestants may remain in the room after they have responded to the topic. Are there any questions? Hearing none, the table topics for District 117 speech contest will now begin. The first contestant will now proceed to the virtual staging area where you can unmute your audio and your video. The Sergeant at Arms will escort the remaining contestants to the breakout room. And at this time, timer, can you please let me know when 1 minute is up?
Certainly. One minute.
Please welcome Chamra Fernando. Chamra, have you pinned the timer and yourself, and are you ready to proceed?
I have, Ryan. Thank you.
Chamra Fernando, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Chamra Fernando.
Chaos is merely order waiting to be deciphered. Before COVID-19, a lot of us thought our lives were pretty good. We felt we were going through day by day, doing what we did, and also achieving the tasks that we were meant to do. Before COVID-19, struggle seemed like the hardest thing in our lives, and the perspective on struggle was vastly different. When I was 10 years old, I visited my hometown of Colombo, Sri Lanka. It was after the events of a devastating tsunami that I went to help my family and friends. The country was in ruins. Many people had lost family members, looking for belongings, seeing if they had a life at all left to live. At 10 years old, that was the first time that I was exposed to a struggle of that magnitude. My life here in the United States up to that point had been filled with what I thought was strife and chaos, but it was nothing. It paled in comparison to my brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka. This year has been a whirlwind for a multitude of reasons. For me, I knew that my personal struggle paled in comparison to the global pandemic that was going on. For me, the life lesson was more so to see yourself as in service of other people globally. You wanted to be able to have a purpose and something that would keep you going, knowing that other people had dealt with similar struggles. COVID-19 has changed the landscape of the entire world. Families have connected over Zoom calls. Long lost friends have reconnected. And other magical friendships have blossomed due to this pandemic. By looking at the silver lining, we need to be able to appreciate what we have learned throughout the course of this pandemic. Thank you.
Can we please have 1 minute of silence? Sergeant at Arms, please escort the next contestant from the breakout room.
Time.
Please welcome Glenn Scales. Glenn, have you pinned the timer and yourself, and are you ready to proceed?
Pinned and ready.
Glenn Scales, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Glenn Scales.
Ladies and gentlemen, COVID changed everything. I mean, every single element of our life was transformed overnight by COVID. At first, I thought the main thing that I will ever have learned from this is that there are a lot more stupid people out there than I ever gave credit to. But in the long run, I actually found out that there's a lot better class of people out there. There were so many people in this wide world that were kind, gracious, hospitable, that made my life much more easy. You see, COVID placed restrictions on every one of us, and most of us don't really understand exactly how bad it affected everybody that we interact with. And yet those people had the courage, the graciousness to open themselves up and make me feel welcome and honored to be a part of wherever they were, whether it was getting a cup of coffee at a Starbucks or pumping gas. Whoever I interacted with made me a better person by their generosity, their courtesy. So ultimately, in the long run, COVID was devastating, but it also enlightened me. It opened my eyes about how good people could be, how generous they could be, how welcoming and how loving. And in the long run, it transformed me as well. I learned to be a lot more patient with people that were having a difficult time. And I also understood that not everybody's life is as simple as it appears to be on the surface. That is what I have learned most about the COVID that has devastated us. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Can we please have 1 minute of silence? Sergeant at Arms, please escort the next contestant from the breakout room.
Time.
Please welcome Anu Tree Broad. Anu, have you pinned the timer and yourself, and are you ready to proceed?
Kind of, yes.
Anu Tree Broad, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Anu Tree Broad.
When the world stops and there's not as many cars on the highway and there's not you rushing here and rushing there and trying to be all the things that you're supposed to be, it can get really scary because you're faced with this. And all the memories that you've tried to shove down come roaring back. And you try to push them down and they come roaring back. So I'm going to be your buzzkill tonight and say the thing that I know now is trauma is real. It's real. And the only way that I have discovered through those haunting memories, the bullying, the being beat up, the being told I was ugly, the shaking hands when I'd get in front of the class to speak and people would be snickering, is to sit with those images, to let yourself cry, to let yourself scream and rage when you need to. I think it's been a beautiful blessing that we've had a chance to sit with ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, and see what's underneath all of that rushing and racing and busy and gotta get here and gotta do this. Just sinking down layer under layer to face ourselves. It has not been easy. It continues to not be easy. I've been sobbing almost every day for the last 2 weeks, but I keep showing up to face myself. So what I've learned is it's okay. It's okay to face yourself. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to rage. And it's okay to cry. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Can we please have 1 minute of silence? Sergeant at Arms, please escort the next contestant from the breakout room.
Time.
Please welcome Sherry Patillo. Sherry, have you pinned the timer and are you ready to proceed?
I have pinned the timer and I'm ready to proceed.
Sherry Patillo, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Sherry Patillo.
Look around us. I'm looking in my house where I'm sitting. It's just me. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests out there. Before COVID-19, I didn't know as much about myself as I know now. At the start of it, I got quarantined in my house, not because I had COVID, but because I had to work at home and I was scared to go out. I had to enjoy my own company. I had to be my own entertainment. I couldn't talk to coworkers anymore. I didn't choose to go out and talk to friends. I learned how to entertain me and learned how to love myself more in my solitude. You might think that's a bad thing, but actually it's not. You get more time to reflect. You get more time to bond with yourself. You get more time to learn what's important to you when the world changes and goes back to normal. What are the types of things that you'll go out and do that you didn't do because you couldn't do it because you were alone? what did I learn after COVID? I learned that I'm a good person who can entertain myself. Thank you.
Can we please have 1 minute of silence? Sergeant at Arms, please escort the next contestant from the breakout room.
Time.
Please welcome Patty Dabrowski. Patty, have you pinned the timer and yourself, and are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I have, and yes, I am.
Patty Dabrowski, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Patty Dabrowski.
I learned that I'm greedy. I am so greedy for love. I'm greedy for hugs. I'm greedy to be with other people. I'm greedy for people to have courage. Courage to do the right thing, to wear their masks, to observe physical distance. I'm greedy for kindness. I'm greedy for kindness for each other, for understanding for what's happening in the world. Then there's a part of me that's really greedy for holding hands with someone, for walking down the street with that someone, for hugging that someone and kissing my family, my relatives, my friends. I told my sister the other day, I said, I have to admit to this. I'm so greedy for hugs and I'm hungry, starved for hugs, that I told her, if Jack the Ripper rings my doorbell, I have to run out and hug him. That's what I've learned. And that's what I'll take with me going forward. That greediness to appreciate my family, my friends, my kindness, the kindness of others, the courage I have, the courage of others, and most of all, hugging everybody. Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Contest Master.
Can we please have 1 minute of silence? Sergeant at Arms, please escort the last contestant from the breakout room.
Time.
Please welcome Alex May. Alex, Have you pinned the timer and yourself, and are you ready to proceed?
I have and I am.
Alex May, what do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? What do you know now that you didn't know before COVID-19? Alex May.
We were really close. We started on one of life's great journeys together. My first day of work was June 4th, 2018. I had made a friend. His name was Drew. Now, Drew was a little quirky. He was into things that I wasn't really into. And we didn't always agree about everything that we talked about. We fought sometimes. We laughed sometimes. And we were friends in a way. But when I needed someone in COVID-19, when I got lonely, when I got depressed, I'm just going to be completely vulnerable with you. I got really depressed. I remember there was one time where I couldn't even get off my couch. I couldn't even get something to eat. I felt isolated. So I thought, who can I reach out to? Well, I don't really have anyone. My family lives in a different state. Maybe Drew, but we're not that close. I called him anyway. Drew, how you doing, man? COVID-19, right? Yeah, I know. I wish the shot would come out too. Oh, and these masks keep fogging up my glasses. Terrible. But Drew told me something. He said, Alex, I've got your back. I didn't realize that. So we hung out together. We Zoomed together. We baked cinnamon rolls together. We talked about politics, but we also just talked about life, and we were vulnerable with each other. And now he's leaving. He's moving to New York. He's got a new job. I didn't think I would be that sad. I'm really sad. Last night, I went to play putt-putt with him as a send-off. I learned that I had a friend in Drew. I want to ask you, who can you reach out to? Who might have your back and who can you have theirs? Thank you.
May we please have silence until all the ballots have been collected. Judges, please follow the instructions provided by the Chief Judge for submitting your signed ballots. And the Chief Judge or the Zoom Master will let me know when we're ready to proceed. All right, District 117, Toastmasters, family, friends, and guests. That is it. Your first ever set of district table topic speech contestants. And at this time, if I can invite all of the contestants to unmute themselves, and if you can turn on your cameras as well. And this is the time to do a little bit of the Q&A. It's not like the table topic itself is a Q&A in itself, just to have a little bit fun with each other here as we get to know a little bit about you. And I will do the interviews in the order of the contest as well. And then while we're waiting for everybody to turn on their cameras, especially the contestants, if we can just show some virtual love, if you will, for all of our contestants, whether it's a clap, it's an emoji, it's a heart. Such a wonderful job over the last hour here. So thank you all. All right. So let's start with Chamra. Chamra Fernando, where are you? There you are. All right.
Glad to be here, Ryan.
I'm doing well. Good evening again. And if you can please tell us what club and division are you representing tonight, and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
Great. So yeah, I'm representing the UNC One Talk Club. Something a little bit unique about us. So we actually were formed in July of last year. So we have not formally ever met in person. So I think that's pretty unique. We were the inception of the club was in the pandemic, kind of fitting with the topic today as well. And so we hope in the future to be able to meet in person.
Great. And that, because I just started a new job myself and I haven't met the team. But anyway, not about me. This is about you guys. So one of the things that you mentioned in your profile is one of your hobbies has something to do with photography. So can you tell us a little bit more? What about perhaps, your most favorite photograph that you've ever taken?
Yeah, great question, Ryan. Thank you. I think one of the things about photography that is so cool nowadays is that no matter what device you have, a lot of the smartphones nowadays can take amazing photos. I'm trying to get more into photography specifically of kind of nature and kind of different angles and kind of that mode. But I think a lot of times nowadays, especially, there's just so many different ways you can take photos. So you asked what my favorite one was. I had an opportunity before the pandemic. One of the hobbies I started getting into was scuba diving. Not a very cheap hobby. I'll definitely say that. So, but I was able to get certified 2 years ago. I had opportunity to scuba dive in the Cayman Islands. And so one of the photos that I took while on the boat was actually of some sea turtles. And it wasn't, very fancy or anything like that, but I was able to take it. I actually blew it up on a canvas and put it in my house. And so it's just a constant reminder of, that trip and, especially being in the pandemic, being at home, I think it's a good reminder of, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? We are, hopefully proceeding towards getting back to, there may not ever be a normal, but I think there will be a life after the pandemic. So.
I like that. There may not be what is the term now? New normal, as people will call it. One more thing here. Your quote you said here is good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. What about that quote that just inspires you?
Yeah, that quote actually, so just for background for everyone. So Tim Duncan, he's a basketball player. He played at Wake Forest, actually, originally from the Virgin Islands. That was his quote. And so his mentality, I think he was, as an actual person and player, he was very even keeled. Didn't let anything rattle him, kind of, went with the flow, go with the flow, no matter if it was the last second of a game or, the beginning of the season. So I think it's just the mentality that you always want to put your best foot forward. Even if it's a situation that may not have an outcome that you are familiar with, or it makes you step outside your comfort zone. You always can go to sleep at night knowing, hey, I took my best shot, I put my best foot out there, and kind of whatever happens.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your participation, Chamra, and congratulations.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you.
So please welcome Glenn Scales. Glenn.
Hi.
All right. So if you can tell us what division and club are you representing and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I'm representing the In Good Company Advanced Toastmasters Club in Division E, and I've been a Toastmaster for 21 years.
Thank you. And that's probably related to my question. You said around 21 years, and one of your notable accomplishments you put here is that 3 different lifetime achievement awards. So 3, right? Lifetime achievements. What does that mean to you, Glenn, when you just hear that?
I think the value that I place in that is that the awards were given to me by people that I work with. They're my fellow engineers and technicians, the people I respect. So it wasn't some anonymous award like sometimes you receive. It was given by people that I've worked with or I know in my professional industry.
Thank you. And so, lifetime, and so that means more, right? When people within your industry, and it also ties to your level probably of experience and your expertise altogether. The other
it was encouraging because I still had some life yet to live, you know, and it was kind of like, isn't this a little premature? Shouldn't I be getting it on my deathbed?
I'm not saying anything here, Glenn. I'm just
okay.
Right. And with that, the other piece you mentioned here is gardening. I know it's springtime right now, right? So anything that you're looking forward to around gardening and during this time of the year?
Well, right now, my yard is mostly shade. And what I grow are plants that thrive in semi-shade or shady environments. Things like hostas, helleborus, aspidistra, ferns, that sort of thing. I have never had much success growing things that I can eat, but I have great success in growing things that the deer can eat. I bet there's people in the audience that can sympathize with that one.
And I see some a few of my people here, so thank you for that. So with that, Glenn, thank you for your participation and congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right. Please welcome the next contestant, Anu Tree Bro. Anu. All right.
You said my name so well. I just had to say that.
I practiced it. Just I made a little mistake earlier, but anyway. So with that, what division and club are you representing, and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
Speak up, Toastmasters! Whoop whoop whoop! And I think we love to hype ourselves up. I think about, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years.
Great, thank you. One of the things that really I like musicals. I don't sing, but I like watching them. One of your notable accomplishments you put here is something to do with a best actress in a comedy or in a musical. So can you please tell us a little bit more, maybe what is it and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so my job is that I'm an improviser. I perform and teach improv theater, improv comedy. And when I was a young improviser, just starting out feeling inferior to like everybody else, I happened to get this award in the Spectator magazine, if anyone remembers that. And it really touched me because I have a background with a lot of social anxiety and just being super scared of everything. So it really gave me confidence to, move forward on that path. And it's my total passion, improvisation.
Great. Improv, as I'm an internal consultant and a facilitator, and I try to use improv when I do facilitation. So I'll reach out to you afterwards for sure, just to get a little bit more. Yeah, which is related to my other question, because improv, that's putting yourself out there, and one of the things that you said that inspires you the most is vulnerability. Serious note. So what about vulnerability that inspires you the most?
I just feel like we walk around with these masks on, and I am completely guilty of it. Like people I don't know why I chose to share that I've been like sobbing every day for 2 weeks. It's like, mouth, stop talking. But like, it's so refreshing when I hear somebody else do that. It's like all of a sudden our humanities can touch and we're not just these walking personas that we present to the world. It's just a really beautiful humanizing experience when you see someone's vulnerability, I think.
Great, thank you. That reminds me, I'm not promoting anybody, but Brene Brown, if you have heard of Brene Brown or if you're a fan of her, she has a lot of work when it comes to vulnerability. So with that, thank you for your participation, Anu, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Next contestant, Sherry Patillo, another name that I needed to make sure. Hopefully I did justice for that. So Sherry, what club and what division are you representing and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I'm with Soft Talk Toastmasters. We're in Division H and I've been a Toastmaster 7, 8, or 9 years. I've lose track after a while, so.
Or sometimes we just, lose count of how.
Yeah.
The things here, and I think everybody knows with COVID and for the past year, one of your interests or hobbies has something to do with traveling. So I'm not going to ask what you've done before, but what is one place or area, whatever, that you're looking forward to when the world is really open a little bit more?
One of the things that I really wanted to do, my son and I were going to do, was we were going to go to the Olympics in Tokyo. And of course that got canceled. And we're really glad we didn't put everything in place because it didn't happen. I'm actually not going to go this year, but I would really like to go to Japan and go to Tokyo, get a little of the culture, eat some of the food. That's something I really look forward to. Definitely not the Olympics, but Tokyo, here I come at some point in the future.
I love that. Tokyo, and even the Olympics. Olympics is also on my list, but probably I'll wait till it gets to LA. I think of the next 8 years. But anyway, one of your, you mentioned here about your favorite quote by Virginia Satir. If you can just tell us a little bit more about that quote and what, what it means to you.
Can you read the quote back to me?
We must not allow other people's limited perceptions to define us.
Right, I didn't want to misquote it. So one of the things that I think is really important is that you don't let other people dictate how you should behave, what you can accomplish, how you're going to grow in life. Instead, look within and know what you can do and reach out for it and do it. Don't just let other people put you in a little box and limit you. That quote really resonates with me because I think it's really important to just reach out and go beyond what others think you can accomplish.
Yeah, thank you. And that reminds me that we are limitless. I think right. I was reading something that we have so much power in each and every one of us here. So with that, thank you, Sherry, and for participation and congratulations.
Thank you.
So please welcome the next one, Patty Dabrowski. Patty, hello.
Hey.
If you could please tell us what division and club are you representing tonight and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I'm representing Wilmington Toastmasters, and I've been a Toastmaster since 2007.
2007, very good. I think that was the year that I moved to the US, but all
oh.
right. So Patty, one of the things here you mentioned is about singing.
Yes.
Right? And what's the song of your life, if you will, right now? If you can describe what you're feeling or experiencing right now, what might that be, a song or even a music?
Well, two things. I used to sing a lot when I was young, so I'm taking singing lessons again. But I am an opera lover, and I am all excited because I had an opera trip booked in Europe. You go to these different countries, and then there's like 2 or 3 operas in each city. So it's so exciting. Last year it was canceled. This year it was canceled. So my fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed for next year. And I'm going to Latvia and Lithuania, that whole section there. So it'd be exciting. And my favorite, of course, you know, I have a few favorites. I love Madame Butterfly. It just takes me away to another world. And of course, Pavarotti, I heard him in person in New York City, and, you know, you could cry when you hear this voice, you know, it's just so stunning. So
I'm sure probably just the being in there immersing yourself in that moment for sure was something very special. And one thing that other special that you put here is women helping women as something that inspires you the most. So can you please tell us a little bit more what that what about that matters to you?
Well, I'm thrilled today to see more women helping women. When I was young, you know, women was a different world. You know, it was a different world. Getting out of college in the 60s, and we struggled, and I still was the object of prejudice, whether it was promotion or whatever. And women who came along and gave me support made a difference in my life. And then, of course, you know, there were other people who would say, men would say, well, you don't want to work for a woman because, you know, they're whatever. And I've had good bosses and bad bosses, and my baddest bosses were guy bosses. Just saying, just throwing that out there. But women helping women, I think it's such a beautiful thing, because I wanted to see a woman president before I died. I'll get all teary-eyed. So to see Kamala and the support that she's had, you know, it brings me to tears, and I'm passionate that women get some, not just equality, but equity. And that incident at the European Union threw me for such a loop that something like that will still happen in the 21st century. It makes me angry, and one, you know, not angry like crazy angry, but it's just a sad thing that still happens in the world. So I know I'm talking a lot, but
yeah, it shows the passion. It shows how passionate you are, and I'm sure we would love to hear more about that. With, you know,
okay. I'll do a speech on that, I think.
That's what I'm saying. So with that, Patty, thank you for participation and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Our last contestant for tonight, Alex May.
Hey, Ryan.
Alex, hey.
Hey, everybody.
What club and division are you representing, and how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I'm part of Campus Toastmasters on NC State's campus when we meet in person. And we've been doing pretty good Zoom so far. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to transition back into person. I also represent Division D and Area 34.
Great. Thank you, Alex. I'm a big fan of one of your hobbies, which says trying new restaurants. I love food personally as well. So
yes.
What do you like the most? Perhaps in your experience, whether locally or somewhere else, what's a favorite restaurant or even a dish perhaps that you tasted?
Sure. I came to Raleigh in 2013 to go to NC State. And in 2013, I found this barbecue joint on Western Boulevard, which is my favorite restaurant in all of the Triangle, called Old Time Barbecue. And I actually took my friend Drew to Old Time Barbecue last night as a send-off because he wanted some Eastern North Carolina vinegar-based barbecue. That is absolutely my favorite, most sentimental place.
Great. And that was on my mind, was Drew with him or not? So
yeah.
You even mentioned that. One last thing here, and I think it probably summarizes everything we've heard, is that listening to someone else's story where you can learn something from anyone.
Come on.
Yeah. What about that maybe, you know, what that really strikes you the most?
Absolutely. My first job was in a paper mill as an engineering intern, and I was working with a wide array of people with masters and PhDs, people with MBAs and management, and then people that graduated high school and started their job at the paper mill as an operator. Some had worked their way all the way up to foreman or shift supervisor, and some were still level 1 operators. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was hard to not try to stratify myself. Where am I in the power rankings here? As an intern, bud, I'm in college, and I got some advice, and the advice was be a sponge, listen, humble yourself. And if someone tells you something you already know, keep listening, because eventually they're going to tell you something that's really important. And so I started practicing this after my freshman year of college, and I would go on plane rides and I would listen to the person next to me, and I would be on the bus and I would be trying to make conversations, and it would be annoying probably to some people, but I have learned, and this is one of my life mottos, that everybody has a story to tell and you can learn something from anybody. And I love that.
Great, thank you. And I'm sure everybody has stories. Definitely, I believe in that. So thank you for participating, Alex, and congratulations.
Thank you.
With that said, if we can just show another appreciation and love to all of our contestants virtually for a wonderful job. And I trust that we were gracious, that there's something that we've learned tonight, and we were in the moment, and we are still in the moment, and probably you're going to be more present now because we're about to finish and wrap up. So with that, it has been my great opportunity and pleasure to serve as your contest master. And remember, first ever contest master for District 117. Kidding aside, I'll turn it over to our contest chair, Bernie. Are you on, Bernie?
See me? I'm here.
Yeah, there you go. All right, back to you, Bernie.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Let's give Ryan a wonderful round of applause, because I think you did a fantastic job, Ryan. Oh my goodness. You were amazing, my friend. Thank you so much. I have enjoyed this contest so much, and I hope it has been really joyful for you as well. I want to thank all of the district officials. There's too many of you for me to say your names. I know we have a lot of dignitaries on here tonight, but I'll just say this. I want to thank all of the division directors, the area directors, past district officials for all of your support and making this conference the wonderful event that it is. I also want to thank all of our wonderful volunteers. You, Ryan, of course, for being so energetic and just helping us lead this contest. Thank you very much. Our Chief Judge, Andy Butler. Being a Chief Judge for the district is not an easy job when you have to make sure that there's no conflict of interest when you're looking for judges. But Andy, you stood up for the job, and you're doing a wonderful job, my friend. Thank you so much. To our amazing duo, Susan and Josh. They are our Zoom master for this contest and for the rest of the events that are happening tomorrow. So, fantastic. Oh my goodness. This contest could not be possible without the help of you too, especially you, Susan. Thank you so much for the help that you gave me behind the scenes. Our Sergeant at Arms, Tom Sneed. Thank you very much, Tom. We appreciate you, my friend. Our judges, our wonderful, wonderful judges, which they must remain anonymous, but please do know this, we appreciate you very much. So thank you very much. Our ballot counters, Inez, Kali, and Nisla, thank you so much for your work. Our timers, Steve, Proskid, and Joyce Times, thank you very much. And that is all the volunteers. There's actually more people that I'd like to thank that worked with us behind the scene. Just know, everybody, that you are very much appreciated, and we love you all so much. Thank you so much for making this contest a wonderful event that it is. Now, the winners are in. We have the results, everybody, but before we show you that, we do want to give you a bio break, a 5-minute bio break, which will also give us a chance to get all the slides ready. So it is 9:35
Bernie,
right now. Go ahead.
Hey, we can go ahead. We're ready to rock and roll. We
you
are,
yeah. The slides?
Yep.
Talking about being amazing. Look at that. Susan's already ready. Oh my goodness. Ramona, if you're ready, I'm going to turn it over to our district director, Ramona Baylor, who is going to be announcing the winners. Over to you, Ramona.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, contestants. This was a phenomenal contest. Wow. I know you're like, will she just get to it? I have the winners. And guess what else? Guess what else I have? I have your trophy here. I have your trophy. I want to first announce there were no disqualifications. No disqualifications. The second thing that I'd like to announce is the winners will receive these third place, second place, and first place trophies while they're attending dinner with the trio and the contest masters and the chief judge. So are you excited? Are you ready? The third place winner. And I'm just waiting for my slide deck to come up. Okay. The third place winner for the District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest is Anu Tree Broad. And I'm going to get a picture.
Thank you.
All righty, congratulations. I'll move that off to the side. Second place, and the trophies get bigger. Drum roll, please. Second place for District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest is Alex May. Congratulations, Alex. All right.
Now you can have your favorite coffee. I wasn't thinking that.
All right, now for the big one.
Get the perfect free gift for you and your family.
Literally.
Dish anywhere app. You can watch what you want, where you want. At no extra
Drum roll, please.
because life is full.
And the first place for District 117 Table Topic Speech Contest is Glenn Scales. Woohoo! All right. Congratulations, Glenn. Congratulations to all the contestants and congratulations to all the winners. 117 Table Topic Speech Contest is, and you can hear in the background the live feed from YouTube. Congratulations all. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Contest Chair, Bernie. Congratulations, Glenn.
So much, Madam District Director Ramona Baylor. Wow. This has been wonderful. And guess what? The fun is not over yet, because tomorrow we get to do it all over again with different activities, different education sessions, and I know you all are waiting for this, the international speech contest in the afternoon. That is going to be quite an event. I hope all of you return back tomorrow here. We're starting at 8 a.m., Ramona, again?
Yes, virtual doors open at 8. We'll start sharply at 8:30.
Oh, shortly 8:30. So there you know. I'd like to open it up for anybody that has anything they want to say, anything they want to share with the group before we shut down for the night.
Just get some rest, everyone. We want to see you back here first thing in the morning for the District 117, day 2 of our annual virtual conference. See you guys then. Thanks again, everyone.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Sleep well.
Bye.